German is a very literal language. On top of just the words being fun to say, many of its nouns are just very straightforward descriptions of what the darn thing actually is. Perhaps this has never been more apparent than in the word Vokuhila. In the King's English, it means the relatively boring sounding mullet. But Vokuhila is a shortening of the phrase Vorne kurz, hinten lang, which literally means short in the front, long in the back. It's like the name is trying to hold our hand through explaining what makes the mullet so awesome. A hairdo so gorgeous does not deserve such a simple name, but Vokuhila is a great workaround. If it was business in the front, party in the back, like we know it, it would roughly be Woraufhinpaar, which is gross. Fun fact, during the Cold War, when Germany was still divided, West German spies were easily found out because of their hairdos. East Germans really didn't follow fashion trends the way the West was allowed to. Anyway, bitch and lettuces and German would cross over in hockey history in a hilarious way in late 1994. Shortly after training camps began, there was a labor dispute between the NHL and the Players Association. Again, the first part of the season was locked out. So, like the full season 2005 cancellation, NHL players dispersed all over the place, to other leagues, other tournaments, other continents, to keep themselves busy. It was in the winter of 1994 that one hilarious nomad named Jaromir Jagr, 22 years old at the time and one of the single greatest players and characters in NHL history, got himself into one of the most odd games of hockey the world has ever heard of. He took his bag and his Vokuhila to Kladno, where he still plays to this day. He scored 22 points in 11 games for them, but in that 11th game he suffered a leg injury and needed some time off. Fortunately, he got a phone call from a club in the Italian Alpenliga called HC Bolzano, who offered him $10,000 a game to help them win the last leg of the Six Nations Trophy Tournament, a regional tournament among 6 nations in slightly west of Central Europe. Kind of like soccer's Champions League, but a better sport and with no corruption. So, Italy was asking for probably the greatest ringer of all time in Jaromir Jagr, who would be playing on a bum ankle to win a trophy that, in the grand scheme of things, was unknown. Jagr, the absolutely insane man that he is, said yes. He scored 16 points in 6 games, won the championship, and picked up $60,000 for his troubles. But that's not really the main story. His time in Italy was just a stepping stone, because after the championship win, he got a call from Peter Fiala, who grew up and played with Jagr in Czechia. He knew that the lockout would be ending soon, but he knew that he could probably get one last gig in from Jagr before he went back stateside. Fiala convinced Jagr to play a game in the second-tier German league, in a pit stop on his way back west. The Mannschaft in question was Schalke Haie. Haie means sharks, and is a word that has no plosives or fricatives or any kind of real consonant sounds in it, but that is nonetheless a team name. The only question was the money. A second-tier German team is probably not even going to be able to come close to paying $10,000 for one game. Fiala picked up Jagr from the airport, explaining to him that the team had prepared the most expensive suite in the Maritime Hotel, had gotten him a limo, the works. But Jagr said, "Can't I just crash at your place?" And he did. He slept on Peter Fiala's sofa that night. And the next day, Jagr made his demands for salary clear. In 1994-95, Jagr made an estimated $58,333 per game, before taxes, of course. For Bolzano, he made $10,000 a game. What he asked from Schalke was a schnitzel, with fries, and mayonnaise. I don't know about you, but if I was in Schalke's ownership, I would make sure that that schnitzel was the most perfect schnitzel to ever schnitzel. As awesomely simple as that ask is, someone's always got to be the fun police. The Pittsburgh Penguins ownership didn't want Jagr playing in any unscheduled games so soon before coming back to the NHL. So Schalke had to pay up about 15,000 marks, which is about $7,000, to ensure Jagr's precious Vokuhila from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on January 8th, 1995. I mean, it's a dangerous sport. In Germany, hockey is called Fußball von vielen Klingen. This is 1000% factual. Do not bother looking it up. Schalke marketed the living crap out of this game. Attendance ballooned to 10 times what it normally was, and 27 seconds after the Todesspiel aus Gummi dropped, Jagr lit the Erfolglicht on the Herner Miners, and thus ended any hope there was of it being a competitive game. The final score was 20-3. Jagr had 1 goal and 10 assists. It was beer league to him. In Germany, this one game with Schalke has been dubbed the Wunder des Vokuhila. Also 1,000,000% factual, and you should not under any circumstances try to corroborate it. It took him half a season lost to lockout, half a Czech season lost to injury, a Six Nations trophy for an Italian team, and a night on an old friend's sofa. But after the dust settled, and after Pittsburgh milking $7,000 from the club he played for, finally, the hockey god that is Jaromir Jagr claimed his just reward. Thank you to all of my Patreons for sponsoring this video, in particular my NHL tier patrons, Amazing Kook 143, Eric Sheldon, Ethan Johnson, Paulthum, Pylon Zinn, Stuckmund, and Sky Shiver.